Are you here? Can you see us? Morning, everybody.
Yes, I know it was then.
Oh!
It's the expectation.
I just realised I've never tickled you. Why don't girls tickle boys?
I don't know.
God, that's a real... No, Mark, don't, please don't. Mark, that's actually hurting. Don't. Mark, stop. No, don't. I don't like it. Why did I start this? Why do girls not tickle boys? I think because they overpower you.
They don't want to touch their armpits.
They overpower you too quickly, and then they tickle you worse. And then they tickle you worse.
I've never been more addicted to Married at First Sight. It's great.
It's brilliant.
It's the only way I actually turn my mind off. It's great.
Honest to God, like, listen to me on this, right, guys. For years and years, crap TV like that has been a sort of mindfulness for me. Took Mark years to join me in this. But now you have the benefits of it as well, don't you? Yeah. And actually, psychiatrists we were talking to the other day completely agreed with that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Sometimes this mindless television is a real way. We don't drink in the evening. We don't have a glass of wine. We don't do any of that stuff to sort of take...
Would you like to? I mean,
no.
Would you not?
No, I actually wouldn't because I don't...
The vast majority of people do, don't they? They use it as an unwind.
No, because I always feel poo bum after it.
Do you?
Whereas if I watch shit TV, and it has to be really addictive, we want to see people behaving appallingly, don't we? And we know that we know there's something wrong with us, that we love this so much, but it is a real way to de-stress and not be in your own life and your own head. Just stepping into...
I think I get slightly more concerned. I feel like we're living vicariously, because, I mean, this kind of thing started with things like Geordie Shore. We like watching people's relationships go through all sorts of turmoil.
I think it makes me more satisfied with my life. So if I'm watching somebody that is extremely wealthy, so if you're watching the Kardashians, for instance, or the Housewives of Miami, it just makes me...
Sorry, go on. Yeah. What's your favourite shit telly? Just to
that helps you, just like this psychiatrist we were talking the other day. He's his friends, but he'll watch episodes that he's watched loads of times before. He's so lovely. This psychiatrist has bipolar too as well, and he said he watches the same ones, doesn't he? His favourite. And, you know, they say that, you know, when children watch the same Disney film or something, whatever film, over and over again.
They say rewatching is really important.
But actually, we all worry about that as parents, but actually it roots them and makes them feel safe. And I think it's a similar thing.
It's really weird. I can't rewatch stuff. I mean, for films, I have to see them at the cinema unless they're just streaming.
I can't rewatch them.
When I've watched them once, if I've got time to watch them once, I've got time to watch a new film.
Carol, Real Housewives of Anywhere. Well, I'm glad you've brought this up, Carol.
About that.
We don't agree.
New Jersey's got very boring.
Sometimes when I watch some of them, like a new series, and I'm like 2 episodes in, and sometimes when people are just too nasty, they've got to have a bit of something about them.
Well, like a character in a film, you need some light and shade, don't you? You need some light and shade. But Love Island does that. The problem is me and Maddie of an evening have got absolutely... We are on Vanderpump crack. If I could inject Lisa Vanderpump into my eyeballs with all of her cast, Jax, we've gone right back to the beginning, it's staggeringly good.
It took me years to get them here, and so now I'm in this state where I'm not allowed to watch
films, and I like this stuff.
Where I'm not allowed to watch the current series because they are now going back 10 fucking years, and I keep seeing things pop up on Instagram telling me what's happening.
Oh, Claire Ross Reed, you can rewatch The Walking Dead. Can I just say on The Walking Dead, me and Maddie did that when she was much younger, and it just got a bit repetitive. I felt. I mean, we enjoyed the first few series. What else do you like watching?
Box people saying
Salt Lake City is so boring, says Zoe.
It is.
Little Women LA, April Hill.
Oh yeah, I used to love that.
It's
really
Hey You.
It's Hey You,
isn't it? Hey You is the gateway.
It's crack.
It's like a dealer coming up on a moped and just offering you everything.
Is there anybody here that never ever watches any crap TV? Can we do a poll?
Yeah.
See, Dina has resisted all these years and looked down her nose on me for it, but she's gone below deck.
Yeah.
She's gone below deck. She's gone below deck and she's been hooked, line and sinkered. Okay.
Well, so that's quite a good below deck. Yeah, she's gone overboard.
She's gone overboard.
She's walked the plank. And all that other stuff.
What one is it, the one you're watching at the moment, Emma says? I'm now re-watching the old ones. Which one are we on? We're on the one where Jax has just had his nose job.
Yeah, no spoilers. Yeah, he's just had, I have to say, I find Jax incredibly funny. I mean, he's such a dope.
Maddie's got a sneaking love for Jax.
Well, so
Reece, what do you say?
It.
I'm the same though, Mark, with regards to films. I always need to see what's new, partly because professionally have to be updated. But do you watch any shit, Reece?
But yeah, can't get the
Reece,
repeat
what
endless
shit do you watch?
when you can see.
Laura Lou, my
I want to
husband
see new
calls
stuff to review it.
Oh, right. Laura Lou, my husband calls it brain dead TV and hates me watching it. Right. Mark used to walk in and he'd been out somewhere and I'd switch it off because I was so embarrassed. Because it did, people do look down their nose. But you know what? I now own it. I'm not embarrassed about it. I literally say it's been condoned to me by a CBT therapist and now a psychiatrist as a tool. And it's better.
There's no greater justification, is there, than that?
And it's better than half a bottle of wine.
But I tell you what, it only ever kicks in around about, we only ever start watching about 10 or 11. It's always very late, so we get one or two episodes in.
Can we start a bit earlier so we're not going
on
to bed
that note though,
late?
we aren't just watching, we've started watching Succession. You fell asleep again last night. They're making some horrendous mistakes with Succession, if anyone is a fan. Too much business technicality, not enough human emotion. Though I have to say, last night's got much better in the last half hour. But can we both give a shout out to a series that has become one of our favourites?
Oh my God.
Fleischman is in trouble. It's on Disney Plus.
It's so
Jesse
good.
Eisenberg.
I think we're a bit behind the party or whatever it is they say.
No, it only came out a week before. I did it on the Culture Vulture. It only came out. It was only available about a week before or 10 days before we watched it. Yeah.
Watch it, guys. Brilliant. So good.
It's comedy. It's like, I mean, I don't want to use the name of Woody Allen because what's happened with him now is cancelled, he's horrendous and all that kind of stuff. But it's that kind of witty New York,
much better than Woody Allen.
But it's about dating. It's about being single. It's about divorcing in a relationship. It's about parenting.
It's about everything. It's about life. It's so good. We should do a review actually of it.
It's so clever.
So he said, can you please hurry up and watch and binge watch so we can get to the last series of Vanderpump? She goes, it is insane what happens.
I've heard that, I mean, can you believe it? I get notifications. I've heard that the latest series, they had to put it on pause due to a drama featuring one of the characters we know.
Thank you, which is what I keep finding out. Can you just get on with it? I love that I've brought this man down to my level.
It's the only moment I actually turn this off. It truly is. But I do miss really good dramas.
Late to the party, thank you, Sadie. What did I say?
And so I can't get into those. There's a new brand of dating one that seems quite abrasive that you and the girls watch, which is Too Hot to Handle and
Perfect Match,
and they all kind of vote who they're gonna.
Yeah.
I don't like Summer House. I find that a bit.
Oh, yes, you do. When he's really drunk.
Yeah, but it's only him.
They're all really drunk. It's only the last series a couple have got.
And it sounds awful, but none of them are knobbing each other. So it's kind of.
They're all knobbing each other.
No.
Oh no, not in their later series. No.
What was the one I really liked where they were in a wood cabin, and I loved the gay.
Oh, the
guy
Lodge.
Who
the
runs
Lodge. There's only one series of that.
That's fantastic.
See, you've got to catch these series at the beginning when everybody's having sex with everybody.
Yeah.
Because then they learn not to have sex with everybody. But Vanderpump Rules. They do it all the way through. Yeah,
because you sense that so many... Ted Lasso, we keep hearing great things about that. I am, on my own, going to go back to White Lotus because I keep hearing that you can jump in on the second series, apparently, which is much better. Fleischman is in Trouble is incredible, says Nicole
Lee
Abbott.
Durrant loves Dexter.
It's incredible.
It was called Cabins, says Joe Brittnett. The Cabins? No, I think it was called The Lodge.
No,
it's out in Canada.
It
was in Canada. Is it called The Cabin? Okay,
anyway,
not what we're here
Edward
to talk
Beventon,
about.
I watched The Room. That was bad. The movie, The Room, that's not the one by...
Not for me. It's about when the woman and her son...
Oh, the Brie Larson one.
Oh, she has a child, yeah.
Zoe Agnew, Vanderpump Rules. Well, when we were in LA, I never understood why whenever we drove past Sir, this was many years ago, you would say, we've got to go there.
Can't we go there? And we were like, no.
Who is it?
And now, him and Maddie are like, oh,
Right.
God, we've got to go to Sir.
When we get there, we're going to take our friend Chiswick there.
Yeah, our friend in Chiswick, if you're there, please can you take us to Sir?
Oh, we'll take you to Sir.
Get us a place.
Yeah, get us a
Because
table.
we probably can't get a table.
Deborah Holdsworth, I've heard Yellow Jackets is good. Okay, I've heard so many great things about Yellow Jackets.
Is this the airplane crash?
Yeah, and there were aspects that were interesting, but for me, it was just a little bit...
It was a little
school, yeah, something missed.
It wasn't earthy enough. It wasn't raw enough.
Yes.
It was a little bit performed rather than real.
What was that school thing that the girls watched the first series of on Netflix? Do you remember? What was that school set in America?
Oh, yeah.
It had a bit of that with the school thing. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit...
Where there was the horrible suicide and everything.
Yes. What was that?
13 Reasons Why.
Well, 13 Reasons Why, but also there was another one. What was the other one, guys? It was kind of, at the time, it was the most successful Netflix sort of American high school series.
And then did it get too sexual and too violent and people turned away from it?
I think there was
That's
there a
13
moment in
Reasons
it where
Why.
someone did some... Riverdale.
Ah,
Thank you.
Riverdale.
It felt a bit Riverdale.
Yes.
But the later one, I think, oh God, this is awful, isn't it? What's the name of the actor I filmed with him who played the Hobbit in the first few films? Elijah Wood. I think Elijah Wood is in the second series of Yellow Jackets, and he is brilliant.
He's great.
I love him. Such a wonderful guy.
We love just catching up with you.
Yeah,
you know what? We laugh that every time we can't remember something,
You do.
one of you little lovelies always knows.
Really excited as well
What's
about...
The Dry? Lucy Haynes
Oh, I don't
says,
know.
have we watched The Dry?
Pretty Little Lies is awesome. That's not the... No, that 9 Perfect Strangers.
13 Reasons Why was horrible. It got It got bad, didn't it?
Very excited about what we're filming. We're filming something later that is I mean, I'm gonna have to, it's a giant edit once I finish, but that's good. That's good. Very excited about that.
With Ali.
Yeah, can we just say a huge thank you to Stacey Randall, who, on behalf of everyone, has just received 10 gifted memberships. Stacey, naughty Stacey. You are like Martina McKeown. Very sweet.
Yeah, and for anyone that gets gifted those memberships, I'd love to know what you think about it when you're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us some feedback.
Yeah. So I did a members walk last week that a lot of people really liked with the dogs. So we're just trying to work out where we're going to be in London, where we could do something similar, sort of on the road, on the move, and all that kind of stuff. And tomorrow, just housekeeping. It's not going to be a coffee moaning. It's going to be a wine o'clock. So just so you know.
Wine o'clock, not coffee moaning.
Yeah, tomorrow. I'll pop it on the community page. Ashley, naughty.
Ashley. Thank you, though. Ashley, that's such a nice...
Yeah. Ellery, thank you, though we're still struggling to find it. And Trina Cotton, we're going to sing you happy birthday for yesterday at the end. So, Stranger Things, Omni432. Curious detail about Stranger Things. Huge fans of it. Watched the first part of season 4, but we didn't get to part 2. Isn't it funny how some things fade away? It's weird. Anyway, so what the hell are we talking about today? Oh, well, just quickly.
Naked
just quickly. Obviously, Donald Trump. All the news yesterday and all the news today is Donald Trump faces 34 felony counts. This is obviously around the idea that in his conspiracy to hide his hush money for Stormy Daniels, there is also actually a second woman in all of this. There's a curious detail to this that the reason they become felonies is if they can connect the original misdemeanor of sort of fudging the issue around his kind of, hush money, if they can connect that to another crime. So there's this kind of strange thing, and I think New York law, any Americans say might know this, where it becomes a felony if the act of one thing leads to another criminal offence. So, for example, hush money to Stormy Daniels was actually about trying to manipulate his election campaign and prevent people from knowing something. Do you see what I mean? So,
do you know, I was listening to somebody...
But just finally on that, one of the big problems is a lot of observers have said, because of his fast mouth in all of the interviews he did when he was president and in the run-up, for example, on the Stormy Daniels, he said in interview, which they can submit as evidence on news stations, I know nothing about it. And then he says, I did. I know everything about it. So he could be very much hoisted on his own petard.
But I was listening today to somebody on the radio, and they were saying that an American person sounded like he was probably a lawyer or something, because I came in the middle, and he was saying that the thing is that his lawyers will delay, kick the can all the way down the road, and then then he can get in as president and immediately pardon himself. So what the hell are they doing?
Well,
which just goes to prove in a way that this isn't political. Because if it was a political move, they wouldn't do it, because it doesn't aid the politics of it, and it is just a general. I mean, who is it that investigates this? Is this the FBI? I don't know.
No, this is the New York district attorney. This is the Manhattan kind of.
So they must know all of this. They must know that it's going to be kicked down the road and just delayed.
Well, it's really interesting because Ron DeSantis. Sorry, if you're not American, you're not interested. But I think this is going to become, Trump. The election is going to be massive next year.
The whole world always has to be interested in the president of the United States, because it affects the whole world. That's why I think we should all get a chance to vote.
We're in a really weird situation where obviously the Republicans, who would also like someone other than Trump, and Ron DeSanctimonious, to call it Ron DeSantis who isn't much better, to be honest with you, in Florida. He's in a difficult bind. Obviously, this issue, Republicans and Democrats smell blood. Obviously, they do, because however Trump tries and turns this to his advantage, it's not a great situation, is it? And it's potentially fraught with difficulty. Biden is refusing to comment on it because he doesn't want to support the narrative that this is the Democrats and that it's a kind of witch hunt. DeSantis and other Republican candidates can't lay into Trump because the grassroots base of the Republicans love Trump. And if they lay into Trump, they run the risk of losing a huge amount of support for the Republicans. So Trump finds himself in a very ironically strong position. Because as you say, if he gets into power, he could... I don't know if you can pardon yourself.
No, that's what this guy was saying.
He can he?
He can immediately get in and pardon himself.
Crikey. Reese Roberts, seeing the footage yesterday of him being arraigned in New York, his flash of anger in his face mirrored he was at the Correspondents' Dinner years ago when Obama and Seth Meyers made fun. Yeah, I agree. There were moments where I've not seen that level of seriousness in his face. So, it's quite something.
What's that about?
Some sort of drama is kicking off with Nicola Sturgeon's husband.
I heard rumours about this.
So we're going to talk about. So that's Donald Trump has been charged 34 counts. He's gone back to Mar-a-Lago, and he gave a sort of bit of a talk, bit of a speech.
Of course he did.
Only half an hour though, which suggests something, because most of his speeches, most of his kind of they're 2 hours long. So obviously he felt he could only do half. Or
maybe his lawyers said just watch it a bit.
Yeah. Well, he's already. The judge said, "Don't say anything that could cause violence or inflame the population."
Judge said that?
Yeah.
Don't incite a riot.
Don't incite a riot. Or,
Wow.
And he went straight down to Florida and he slammed the judge, slammed the court. I don't know if that's in breach of something or what, but anyway.
Oh, he's been arrested.
Yeah, connection with the S&P
funding and finances.
Yeah, arrested in connection. They haven't specified what yet, but
he's in custody.
Yeah. Maybe that's part of the reason why she resigned.
Well, this is what the rumour has been the whole time, that she knew something was coming.
Drama kicking off with Nicola Sturgeon.
Oh God! Look, every news channel doing it.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
huge. Big news. Any Scots here? Let me just look at your poll. Do you never? Do you never watch shit to turn off? That's a weird way of asking the question. I should have said, do you ever watch shit? So yes,
it's really weird. You did that the other day. You did a weird double negative.
It's like the quiz I do on a Friday. Some of the questions are double negatives, aren't they? Do you never watch? So 52.
No, you can't answer. What does that mean?
Well, it means do you not watch? So
no, that's
52% never watch shit to turn off. Okay.
I don't even know how to answer.
It's a very confusing question from a very confusing head.
From a confused man.
Yeah. Hello, Leslie F. from Orlando, Florida. What are your feelings on it? Well, I'd love to know. Anyway.
Please tell us.
Yeah, so we've talked, that's Trump. So, Trump. Naked education. Let's ask
First
the question.
First of all, who saw it?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you on a poll. Did anyone see
Well, just say yes, no, and then we can ask them a question about what they thought. So yes, no.
All right.
Yes, no's on whether you saw it. We didn't actually see it. We saw the beginning. We saw
trailers.
I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't watch it now.
Yes,
but now the presenter, who is oh God, what's her name? Who does Naked Attraction?
We're doing well here, aren't we?
Naked Attraction.
Yeah,
presenter.
her name's here.
Who is actually a really lovely woman. I really, really like her.
Anna Richardson.
Yeah, I've worked with her a number of times.
And Dr. Alex George.
Who's both of whom I really like.
Yeah.
I hate, as you know, Naked Attraction. It's my most hated programme.
It's one of my most fun things to do in the vlog, when you flip it on and see your reaction.
There's always something looking at me that I don't want to see. And I find it almost gladiatorial. You know, these people are brought into the arena, their body parts are shown, and then somebody, and you always know which one they're going to choose. When you've got the 4 bodies of them, you're always going to choose that one for sure. Anyway, I hate it.
It gave us a huge moment of realisation around foreskins, though, didn't it?
Yes, because Mark discovered his circumcised, which he didn't know before he saw Naked Attraction. But so when I saw it was Anna Richardson, that's her name, remembered, doing this How to Be Naked or whatever it's called. I was just like,
I just told you.
Who told you?
I didn't remember. You didn't remember.
Who told you?
I told you.
Did you? What just now?
Yeah, I said Anna Richardson. You said that's it, and then you said Anna Richardson. You said, "Oh, I remembered."
Fuck,
You're now.
Where are you?
You're now.
We just.
You now
Our brains are
mistakenly thought you remembered something you had
Oh
forgotten.
my God, that's a new layer of horror. Ya Allah.
Sorry.
So anyway, so we looked at it and we went, as much as I liked Anna, I was just like, no, sorry. Because if this is about getting people to feel comfortable about being naked, then I don't think I want to watch her that's on Naked Attraction, where I feel it's all about just how somebody looks naked. So I found that a bit bizarre. So we didn't watch it. But then today we've seen all this stuff that I didn't realise that this is young people, isn't it? Looking at strangers naked. This is part of the show, is that right?
It sounds like it. Well, the show's aim is to demonstrate what different bodies look like to help quell people's insecurities, all of which in and of itself is a good idea. But
which is what we were talking about yesterday. You know, most other countries in Europe, people are okay with nudity. We're very
conservative,
scared, aren't we? Yeah.
But some viewers took to social media to express their disgust. The show is being promoted as being all about body positivity. Everyone agrees with that. Yeah, okay. Celebrity presenters, on a mission to normalise all body types, champion our differences, and break down stereotypes. Okay, just before we get into the details of that, bollocks. We know this in terms of television speak and commissioners. This is about creating something and pretending it's an experiment. The Big Brother was pitched and launched as an experiment in order to justify what they call huge pinch points of drama, controlled factual or structured factual, or these are programs that use so-called real situations to create all sorts of drama, and that's fine. That's entertainment. Wife Swap, classic example. They'd have little format points or beats which would create dramatic pinch points, and the drama would flow. Doesn't always, and that's when you go. It's when you get your exec producer and the edit suite, and they go, "Where's the drama?"
Yeah, I mean,
and so this is quite. All I'm trying to say is this is a reversion. They want to get more whack for their money with another series that shows people naked.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. And then dress it up as body positivity. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah, which I'm fine with all of that as long as you don't call it educational. I think it's the fascination of the human condition. And that's okay to make a million programmes about that, because I think Big Brother was fantastic. We got too obsessed with celebrity, but I loved watching the way people...
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a wrong thing to do, but I think we all know that. We all know what this is about. This is about appealing to the worst part of us to kind of watch stuff and go, ugh.
What, did anybody see it? And what about the idea that, these 16-year-olds...
Well, the bit that a lot of people have got annoyed about. No, it's 14 to 16-year-olds, adults stripped naked in front of children aged 14 to 16. Now, I think what they're trying to do here again is in certain countries in Europe there isn't that sort of taboo around seeing the naked body.
But you can't just crash land somebody into that. It's like when people say, "Oh, in France, they let their children just have half a glass of wine, and that, like, you know, encourages moderation." But it's like you've got centuries of that way of living. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
It's just not the same. We can't just suddenly employ that way of life.
Is it right?
Children grow up always seeing nudity. But if you're suddenly in a classroom and you've got 4 totally naked adults, put you off.
Well, it's curious.
There is nothing wrong with the naked body, okay? So I think that we do have far too much shame about it. My mum's always fine about being naked in front of me, but I don't feel comfortable being naked. I never will. It's just not in me. And I think that is because of the way that society is here. It was unusual for me that my mum used to be naked because nobody else's mum used to be naked. And so in a way, it was like a bit like weird. Not weird, I don't want to say that, because it wasn't weird. But it didn't make me be okay with being nude. Do you know what I mean? I always have a problem with that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And I think when I was 16, if I'd suddenly been lined up in the classroom with 4 naked adults, I don't know that would have helped me.
Do you know what a much better idea would have been? Would have been something along the lines where people get... You know that Gok 1 series where they'd kind of make...
How to look naked.
Yeah, I think was that what it was called? Oh, well, that's it. They've done it. You know, I think how to look naked in front of people that you're... You know, that you're close to, family, all that kind of stuff. I could understand it as something to resolve not feeling For example, I don't want to reveal too much. We could get into apple crumble mode. But, you know,
Well, apple crumble already then. If you think we're going into the mode, stop it. If anyone that's just joined us for the first time, apple crumble is my safe word.
I know of people who wear more clothes to bed because they're self-conscious and all that kind of stuff than they do during the day.
Me? I don't wear more clothes than I wear because I wear pyjamas. That is not more...
I remember you coming to bed with a puffer jacket and dungarees once.
If it's
it was
cold,
weird.
I would wear a puffer jacket. I'm
And
not
dungarees.
going to bed cold.
So, how to look good naked. So, I kind of understand that. Dreamcat sketcher, I think you put it perfectly. Not comfortable with the nakedness, but glad to see real, imperfect people represented. I agree. I think
But isn't it awful that we have to say imperfect? It's just bodies. It's just bodies, isn't it? Because what's one person's perfect is another person's imperfect. That's the...
Someone said they just watched it and it was awful. I tell you also something else that I don't... Yeah, tell us what you thought was awful. One of the things that I find really odd about... What's the other one? Is it naked attraction? This is the bit I don't understand about naked attraction. It's trying to normalise all body types, and then they ask people to decide who they want to date based on a judgment on how they look.
Exactly.
And also how just a part of their body look. Doesn't that contradict the very thing?
That's why I hate it.
Jill Taylor, hi, quiet sub. Good morning, Jill. I don't even have a problem with nudity, because we're running the risk of sounding really sort of conservative. I
don't. I think that we're so hung up about nudity, but I am hung up about nudity. I feel like uncomfortable around it. You know, it's just like, oh my God. Like, you know, I mean, I remember that time we were walking on that beach and we saw that man just picking up shells and his willy was all over the place and we were both like, ah! We just didn't want to.
We had kids.
But but why should it matter that kids are seeing it? It's just a body. But we are very, very tight-arsed, us Brits, about nudity.
He was.
We're very buttoned up about nudity.
Well, here's a terrible thing to say. Are we as buttoned up about nudity when it's a beautiful person versus someone who's very ordinary and like that man was on the beach picking... I have to confess, though,
I feel uncomfortable when somebody else is nude around me. I don't
think it's normal on any level, sorry naturists, to want to go on a beach on your own and pick up shells naked. There's something deeply weird about that. I'm sorry. I don't, especially conch shells. Razor shells?
Now, don't get me wrong, on a few times that I have been naked, like got into a pool
Winkles.
or got into a pool and done that, it's the most freeing, lovely, lovely feeling. but I just feel insecure. I feel vulnerable if I'm naked.
Yeah, the only time I've ever done it was me and a friend when we were hiking through California.
So lovely.
We leapt into a really cold river and then got desperately worried because bears were in the area. So we immediately scrambled out. But for that moment, the freedom of just feeling it was lovely. But I
Like
wouldn't want to do it in
sometimes
front of
when
anyone
we're in the
else.
sea, I swim out to the sea and I take my top off and I tie it to my bottoms. So then I just the feeling. But my favourite is like with nothing on in the water.
Whenever you do that, that's when I put my goggles on.
Because that's like being a baby. It takes you back to the womb. You just feel totally free. But I'm not constantly like this.
Look, that was a good one. I said was he looking for cockles and winkles? But look, Sophie Clemetshaw looking for crabs. He was bent over. I mean, he was showing everything.
It was.
What he had
God,
for breakfast.
like, come on, we need to go.
Oh, crikey, we're at half an hour. Okay, just to frighten you all a little bit, there's deadly tick-borne virus is likely in the UK. I hate the thought of ticks.
I'm really scared of ticks.
There's not
because
a
I
real
know
sign.
two people
There's a sign.
who know two people that got Lyme's disease. Now,
This is
what?
tick-borne encephalitis.
I know. It is very rare that, but just generally, we really are, when you're going for walks in woods and stuff, you really are supposed to cover up your ankles and not go for walks in shorts. Honestly, two of my friends,
you said they
friends of friends got it, and it's been just hell.
I remember as a child when we used to take our dogs. They used to go into the countryside, and I remember one of our dogs having 2 ticks on it, and I remember my mum or her girlfriend pulling them out, and they gorge, don't they, into a sort of big head.
You're not supposed to pull them out.
No, well, when you do it, you're supposed to pull them from the root so that you pull out the sort of legs or whatever it is, or mouth that's gone into the... But it was enormous, and the blood that... and so I've often, when I've gone trekking or hiking or whatever, this becomes a pathological fear. I end up getting in the tent and examining. And the biggest story ever, Little Pete, who was a friend of mine, who we went climbing, we climbed 2 or 3 Munros in Scotland. Oh my God. He was hiking somewhere.
Really?
He became a Buddhist, but he was hiking somewhere. They were going day after day after day. They couldn't change their clothes or anything like that. When he got back, he went to wash it. He had a shower when he got back to base camp or something like that. Felt down around his balls, and he felt something the size of a 3rd ball. Oh. And when he examined it, he had an enormous tick on his perineum.
Those perineums run the back, darling. That's where your bum.
The perineum is between your bollocks and your bum. It's the skin between them. Yeah. So he had an enormous tick there, and I had to ask someone else to pull it off.
But don't pull it out. That's the thing. And you know what? Did they ever bite you on your face?
No, they crawl like tiny things.
So you've got to put your trousers in your
armpits.
socks and just do some spray on your ankles. Honestly. And the thing is, if you get a tick, so you get it's like a round circle, isn't it, with a hole in the middle. That's the look of it. If you've had a tick bite, you really should go to the doctor. Another friend of mine had to have because you've got 48 hours, I think, to have the antibiotics, and that's your only hope of
Okay, and very quickly, do you want to just do this? This is a quick story. Look, 91% say it's not right for strangers to strip in front of 14 to 16-year-olds. There we go. I'm not kind of surprised.
We need to watch the show. That's why I'm not being really tough on it, because I want to see what the kids said. How they felt about it.
This is a quick one because there isn't much. I want to do a poll, but do you want to just explain what this story is, just quickly?
So basically, this little story on TikTok got 7 million views, and this was about this guy. He had booked his particular seat on the train, and he came to his seat, and there was a woman sitting in it, and he said, "Sorry, this is my seat. I've booked it." And she said, "Oh, well, there's plenty of seats down the front. Just take one of those." And he said, "No, I don't want to. This is the seat that I booked and I want this seat." Anyway, so he said this and it went crazy on TikTok with so British, isn't it? I mean, just so British. It's so funny. And it just got us thinking about how would we do the same thing?
Now, the important detail here is that the reason she said, "Can't you sit somewhere else?" is there were lots of other seats.
Yeah, further down. But why couldn't she go and sit in the other seat? He booked that seat because he wanted that seat. Now, the thing that really winds me up, a few weeks ago, me, Jane and Kay were travelling quite far on the train, and there was 2 4-seater tables there. Each 4-seater table had one person on it. Me, Kay and Jane were sitting like opposite them on these 3 seats, leaning over, talking to each other like this, like sharing our wine or whatever it was. And these people, the entire journey, neither of them thought to say, oh, would you like, because they wanted a table, they could have sat like that. They didn't even think of it. We were raging.
What? Jane was so furious.
And I just thought, what kind of a human being are you that you wouldn't say, would you like this? You're all, you know, but we wouldn't. I think Jane would have asked, but I was holding. Me and Kay were holding Jane back a bit because I just felt too embarrassed to ask.
Rottweiler. She wanted to be. A Rottweiler.
She's great.
Yeah,
she's great.
Sadie C. I'm with him actually, but I'm an arse like that.
But is it an arse? Like she said, "Oh, just get another seat." Well, if it's that easy, why don't you get another seat? Because maybe it had a PowerPoint, maybe it had the table, maybe.
Yeah, you've got no. I mean, one of the things that I always find curious. I mean, someone underneath one of the tweets, you know, lots of people have kind of replied to it, obviously. And in this age of fabulous journalism, the reply is under Twitter, under the post, is when as a family you get on a plane, and for whatever reasons, you know, you're four people, 3 of you have got 3 seats, 1 of you has to sit somewhere else, and you ask someone, would you mind? Now, if someone asks me that, even if I've gone for a aisle seat because I need the loo, or I've gone for a window seat because I want to lean, who wants a middle seat? I will, if a family asks me nicely, I would always oblige. I would always oblige. But
not if I've then got to sit in the middle. Well, I would. Actually, I would oblige, and I'd be like really pissed off all the way because I'm now in a middle seat. I hate being in the middle seat.
Yes.
Zoe said, obviously not loose women fans then, for fuck's sake. Do you know what? I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they didn't move.
God, I'd not even thought of that. Maybe they felt a bit intimidated to ask us.
Yeah, yeah. Someone here, YT user says, what's the point in there being seat allocations if you don't follow them?
So how many of you would ask somebody to move? Would you? No. You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. No.
Because you won't take that space for yourself.
I don't like confrontation.
But what about if it's not confrontation? What about, oh, I'm really sorry, I booked this seat. Do you mind?
Well, if it was me, if I was travelling with one of the girls or something like that, I would. I'd say, look, could you mind?
Yeah, because I wanted to sit with my daughter.
This is our seat. Yeah, exactly. If it was just me and I looked around and scouted and I saw... I mean, sometimes
if it was just me, I wouldn't.
Yeah, because sometimes I get really annoyed. This is another one that annoys me. You go to a cinema, you've booked... You have to choose a ticket, don't you? I choose one ticket, it's B11, say. I go in and I think, oh, fuck it, actually. I want to go A11. I want to sit at the front. Someone comes in and there are thousands of seats and they insist on you moving.
Yeah.
That annoys me.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't
that's so he would have annoyed you, this bloke.
Well, no, in a cinema it's different. Or, worse still, there's thousands of seats, none of them allocated, and they sit right next to you.
Oh, that is so annoying.
What's that about?
Okay. So would you get up and move?
Yes. Absolutely. I've done that many times in cinemas and on trains where a lunatic comes on, plonks themselves opposite
and
me.
then starts eating.
I've done this many times. If for some reason, when I'm running and around here, someone will, I don't know, must have the face. They come up and go, hey, I want to kind of have it. And I often now just say, I am in no mood to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
They never know what to say to that. Unless they pull a knife.
Not here. Mitube, hope you're okay.
So look, 67% would be confident asking someone to get out of their seat on a train if there were other seats. 67% would be confident asking. Is that a clear question?
Yes, well done.
Still a bit verbose.
That's lovely.
Could have been simpler.
Oh, thanks, guys. Nice hanging out with you, as usual.
Can we do a welcome to Becky Allison?
So this is what we do when people become members. We do a really bad Phoebe-like from Friends song.
Yeah, and...
Becky Allison.
Becky Allison.
Becky Allison, Becky Allison.
Becky Allison.
Welcome to the...
members area.
Welcome, Becky Allison.
And just finally, as we go, just imagine being 92, Rupert Murdoch, and you call off your engagement.
He's a one, isn't he?
He's a lucky